Welcome, curious minds, to another deep dive. Today, we're doing something a bit different. We're basing our whole exploration on just one single audio source. And it's pretty compelling stuff. It really challenges, the standard view of history, of art, maybe.
Yeah.
Hints at some surprising ideas, hidden information, that kind of thing. So the topic today is this specific audio clip focusing on, a reptilian statue, supposedly at Horiji Temple in Nara, Japan. Quite an image, right? A reptilian statue there. Our mission then is to really get into what this source is claiming. What's it suggesting about what we get to see, historically speaking, and what counts as evidence? Okay, let's unpack this.
What's fascinating here, I think, is how even one source, maybe an unconventional one, can spark curiosity. It's not about just accepting the claims, right? But about looking closely at what is being claimed and how. It's a starting point for asking questions about the narratives out there.
Absolutely. And that initial image, the statue, it really grabs you, sets a kind of fantastic scene. But the source, it doesn't stick with just that statue for very long, does it? It broadens out pretty quickly.
Exactly. Almost straight away, it pivots. It moves from talking about museums, the usual places, to this big claim. It says something like, most pieces like this, quote, have been removed from our vision.
Yeah.
And then it tells us where they supposedly are. First, collections of elite hidden secret societies. That's the phrase used.
Secret societies.
Then more generally, just private collections.
Mm-hmm.
And finally, places where, and this is a bit convoluted, under any pretext can access someone off the street. Basically meaning totally off limits to you or me.
Right. Completely inaccessible.
Yeah.
And that's where it gets really specific and maybe a bit wild, because it doesn't just leave it at these general categories. It names names, or rather one big name, the Vatican.
Yeah.
And the description is, well, it's vivid. It talks about 85 miles of corridors.
85 miles, yeah. That's a very specific, large number.
Huge. And these corridors are supposedly full of old books,
Okay.
but also pieces of art which are prohibited for us. And then the kicker, even bones of beings that are not of the earth.
Mm-hmm. And if we connect this to the bigger picture, the source is quite direct about what this means. It states this is, quote, another evidence of reptilians. So the interesting thing is how it frames this alleged concealment as the evidence, the very idea that things are hidden, inaccessible, that becomes proof for these extraordinary claims.
Hidden things, alien bones, reptilian evidence.
It implies that because you can't see it, that's the reason to believe. It's a sort of unfalsifiable argument, the lack of access is the proof.
Which puts the listener, you, in an interesting spot. When you hear claims like this, what do you do with them? The source itself actually asks for engagement. It ends by saying, take a look at some of the statues. Please share your thoughts.
It's like it's inviting you into its worldview, asking you to search for this hidden proof too. Yeah, and this raises an important question, doesn't it? About information control, about who gets to see what. When someone tells a story about important thing as history, art being deliberately hidden, it definitely hooks into our curiosity, maybe even our skepticism about official stories. It pushes us to think about how we know what we know, especially when the proof offered is defined by its very absence. How do you verify something that's claimed to be fundamentally inaccessible?
So just to quickly recap where we've been in this deep dive, we started with this single audio source. It brought up a specific reptilian statue in Japan, then widened out to this idea that most significant art and artifacts are actually hidden away. Secret societies, private hands.
And the Vatican, with those 85 miles of corridors.
Right, the Vatican example, containing prohibited art, ancient books, even non-earthly bones, and tying it all together with the claim that this is all evidence of reptilians.
And engaging with sources like this, even if they seem unconventional or maybe even outlandish, has value. It's not about agreeing necessarily. It's about understanding the range of narratives out there, how people interpret things, how information gets packaged, and why certain ideas resonate. Real understanding, I think, comes from exploring all sorts of claims and thinking critically about their implications.
Definitely. So as we wrap up, here's something to chew on, building on what this source suggests. If, and it's a big if, but if, significant artifacts or knowledge really were hidden on such a grand scale, what else might be missing from our picture of history or our understanding of the world right now? What does the very idea of hidden history tell us about how we search for truth and knowledge? Something to think about.